Namaste. So tonight I'm going to read Book 7, Chapter 28 on the glory of the Satakshi Devi. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Kodisa. Nida Viganam Kodisa. Om Ganga Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu. Om Yadevi Sabha Vidyada Vidya. Hariom Tatsat. Janamajaya said, O Rishi, wonderful is the story of the religious Rajasi Harishchandra that you have described, the great Bhakta of Satakshi Devi. Why is that auspicious Shiva, the wife of Shiva, called Satakshi? Explain to me the cause of it, O Muni, and thus make my birth full of use and success. Who is there amongst the clear-minded that gets fully satisfied when he hears the good deeds of the Devi? Each sentence describing the good deeds of the Devi gives the undecaying fruits of Ashvamedha sacrifice. Vyasa said, O king, here I am describing the story of Satakshi Devi. You are the great devotee of the Devi, so I have nothing that I cannot say to you. In olden times, there was a great Danava named Durgama. He was very cruel. He, the son of Ruru, was born in the family of Hiranyaksha. Once bethought within himself thus, the Munis offer oblations by mantras as ordained in the Vedas, and the Devas, eating the clarified butter, ghee, of these oblations get nurtured and strengthened. The Vedas is the strength of the Devas. If the Vedas be destroyed, the Devas would also be destroyed. Thus, it is advisable to destroy the Vedas. There is no other easy way. Thus thinking, he went to the Himalayas to perform tapasya. He began to meditate Brahma in the space of his heart, and taking air only, passed away his time. Mark here that all the Devas reside in space, a magnitude of the fourth dimension. He practiced hard tapasya for 1,000 years, and the Devas and the Asuras and all the Lokas were agitated by the power of his Tejas, fiery lustre. Then the Bhagavan, the four-faced Brahma, became pleased with him, and mounting on his carrier, the swan came up there to grant him the boon. Brahma told clearly the demon sitting in samadhi with his closed eyes, let all be well with you. Now ask what you desire. Satisfied with your tapasya, I have come to grant you the boon. Hearing thus, the demon got up from his samadhi and, worshipping him duly, said, O Lord of the Devas, give me all the Vedas. O Maheshwara, let all the Vedic mantras that are found in the three worlds with the Brahmanas and the Devas come to me and give me such strength as would able me to conquer the Devas. Hearing this, the god Brahma, the author of the four Vedas, replied, let it be your wish, and went away. From that time, the Brahmanas forgot all about the Vedas, so bathing, Sandhya, daily homas, Shraddha, sacrifice, and japam, and other rites and performances all became extinct. Then a cry of universal distress arose on the surface of the wide earth. The Brahmins began to say to each other, how has this happened? How has this come to pass? Now what are we to do? Where the Vedas have disappeared, thus when great calamities befell on the earth, the Devas became gradually weaker and weaker, not getting their share of the sacrificial havis. At this time, the demon invested the city of Amaravati, and the Devas, not being able to fight with the Asura of a thunder-like body, fled to various directions. They took refuge in the caves of the mountain Sumeru and the inaccessible passes of the mountain, and began to meditate on the highest force, the great goddess. O king, when oblations of clarified butter are offered to the fire, those get transferred to the sun, Surya Loka, and get transformed as rains. So when the Homa ceremonies disappeared, there was the scarcity of rain. The earth became quite dry, and not a drop of water was found anywhere. The wells, tanks, pools, rivers, all were dried up, and the state of no rains lasted 100 years. Countless people, hundreds and thousands of cows, buffaloes, and other beasts went up to the jaws of death. The dead bodies of persons remain in heaps in every house. Persons would not be found to perform their burning ceremonies. When such calamities were seen, the calm and quiet body of the Brahmins, in their earnestness to worship the Supreme Goddess, went to the Himalayas. They, with their whole heart and without taking any food, began to worship the Devi daily with their samadhi, meditation, and worship. O Maheshani, show mercy on us. O Mother, it's not praiseworthy to thee to manifest thy such anger on us, the low persons and guilty of all sins. So, O Devi, forgive us. If thou art angry on us for our faults, even then we may be excused, for thou art the eternal ruler within us all, and we do whatever thou impellest us to do. The other devas become pleased and give fruits when they are worshipped by japam and other Homa ceremonies, but that is not even possible due to the disappearance of the Vedic mantrams from amongst us. But you are kind as mothers are towards their children whenever they remember. So without thee, there is no other rescue for these people. O Maheshwari, whatever thou willest, thou canst do that. So what art thou seeing again and again? O Maheshwari, how can we live without water? What is called the life? Now rescue us from the great difficulty. O Mother of the worlds, O Maheshwari, be pleased, O the ruler of the endless crores of Brahmandas. Obeisance to thee. We bow down to thee, the unchangeable, of the nature of intelligence. We again and again make obeisance to thee, the Lady of the universe, and realizable by the Vedanta words, not this, not this. All the sayings of the Vedanta declare thee be negating not this, other transient objects, and the cause of all this universe. We, with all our hearts, bow down to the Devi. When the body of the Brahmanas thus prays and chanting the hymns of Maheshwari, she created innumerable eyes within her body and became visible. Her color was dark blue, a color of the fourth dimension space, like heaps of collyrium. I paint eyes like the blue lotuses, and expanded breasts hard, regularly elevated, round, and so fleshy that they touch each other. Four-handed, with her right hand holding arrows, on the underhand holding lotus, on the upper left hand holding a great bow, and on the lower hand carrying vegetables, fruits, flour, and roots with abundance of juice, destroying hunger, thirst, and fever. She was the essence of all beauty, lovely, luminous like the thousand suns and the ocean of mercy. That upholder of the universe showed her form and began to shed waters from her eyes. For 9 nights continuously, the heavy rains poured down out of the waters flowing from her eyes. Seeing the misery of all the people, out of pity, she showered incessantly tears from her eyes, and all the people and medicines were satisfied. What more than this, out of those tears the rivers began to flow. The devas that remained hidden in the mountain caves now came out. Then the Brahmins, united with the Devas, began to praise and sing hymns to the Devi. Thou art known by the Vedanta Maha Vakyas. We bow down to thee. Thou ordained everything to all the worlds by thy Maya. So again and again we bow down to thee. Our obeisance to thee, who art a kalpatree to the bhaktas, yielding all their desires. Thou assumest the body for the bhaktas. Thou art always satisfied without any equal, the Lord of the universe. We bow down to thee. As thou, O Devi, hast innumerable eyes only for our welfare and peace, therefore thou wilt be called henceforth by the name Satakshi. O Mother, we are very much hungry, so we have no power to chant hymns to thee. Therefore, O Maheshwari, show mercy on us and deliver to us our Vedas. Vyasa said, O king, hearing these words of the Devas and the Brahmins, the auspicious one gave them the vegetables, delicious fruits and roots to them that were on her hand for their eating. After she was prayed, she gave to men sufficient quantity of various articles of juicy food, and to the beast grass, etc., until new crops came out, O king. From that day she became famous by the name of Sakambari, because she nourished all by vegetables, etc. Great tumult arose, and the demon Durgama heard all from the emissaries and started out to fight with his weapons and army. He took 1,000 Aksohini armies with him. One Aksohini army equals a large army consisting of 21,870 chariots and many elephants, 65,610 horses, and 109,350 foot. And shooting arrows, he came quickly before the Devi and invested her and the Deva army and the Brahmins. At this, a great tumultuous uproar arose, and the Devas and the Brahmins, united, exclaimed, O Devi, save us, save us. The auspicious Devi then, for the safety of the Devas and the Dvijas, created round them a luminous circle, and she herself remained outside. The terrible fight then ensued between the Devi and the Danavas. The sun was covered with their incessant hurling of arrows, and the shooters could not shoot accurately on account of the darkness that then prevailed. Then, by the collision of the arrows of both the parties, the arrows caught fire, and the battlefield again became filled with light. The quarters on all aids, resounded with harsh bow sounds, and nothing could be heard. At this moment came out of the body of the Devi the principal Shaktis, forces incarnate, Kalika, Tarini, Sodashi, Tripura, Bhairavi, Kamala, Bhagala, Matangi, Tripura, Sundari, Kamakshi, Tulaja Devi, Jambini, Mohini, Chanamasta, and 10,000 armed Guya, Kalis, and others, 32 Shaktis, 64 Shaktis, and then innumerable Shaktis, all armed, came out of the Devi successively. When the Shaktis destroyed 100 Aksohini forces, Merdangas, conch shells, lutes, and other musical instruments were sounded in the battlefield. At this time, the enemy of the Devas, Durgama, came in front. At first, fought with the Shaktis. The fight grew to such a terrible extent that within 10 days, all the Aksuhini troops were destroyed. So much so as the blood of the dead soldiers began to flow in torrents like rivers. When the fatal 11th day arrived, the Danava, wearing red clothes on his waist, red garlands on his neck, and anointing his body all over with red sandal paste, celebrated a very grand festivity and mounted on his chariot and went out to fight. With the strenuous effort, he defeated all the Shaktis and placed his chariot before the Devi. When a terrible fight ensued for 2 praharas, 6 hours, the hearts of all shivered with horror. At this time, the Devi shot 15 very horrible arrows at the Danava. His 4 horses, Vahanas, were pierced by her 4 arrows. The charioteer was pierced by 1 arrow. His 2 eyes were pierced by 2 arrows, his arms by 2 arrows, his flag by 1 arrow, and his heart was pierced by 5 arrows. He then left his body before the Devi, vomiting blood. The vital spirit, the luminous counterpart emitting from his body, merged in the space-like body of vital spirit. The luminous counterpart emitting from his body merged in the space-like body of the Devi. The 3 worlds then assumed a peaceful appearance when that greatly powerful Danava was killed. Then Hari, Hara, Brahma and the other Devas began to praise and chant hymns to the World Mother with great devotion and in voices choked with feelings. The Devas said, O auspicious one, thou art the only cause of this illusion of this world, presenting an unreal appearance, while Brahma is the only reality. So thou art the lady of all the beings, otherwise why it would be that thou hast nourished all the beings with vegetables, etc. So obeisance to thee. The Sakambhari 100-eye, O auspicious one, thou art sung in all the Upanishads. The destroyer of the Durgama Asura, we bow down to thee, the Lord of Maya. The dweller in the 5 sheets, Anna, Rasa, etc., we meditate upon thee, the Lady of the universe, as demonstrated by Pranava Om, Aum, whom the chief Munis meditate with their Nirvikalpa hearts free from any Vikalpa, doubts or ignorance. Thou art the mother of the endless crores of universe. Thou assumest the divine bodies at times for our welfare. Thou art the mother of Brahma, Vishnu and others. We bow down to thee with all our heart. Thou art the mother of all. So, out of mercy, thou hast shed tears from the 100 eyes to remove the miseries of the low humble persons. Thou art the ruler of all. Vyasa said, O king, thus when Brahma, Vishnu, Hara and the other devas praised and chanted various hymns to the Devi and worshipped her with various excellent articles, she became incessantly pleased. Then the Devi, graciously pleased, handed over the Vedas to the Brahmanas. At last she, the cuckoo voice, made a special address to them. These Vedas are the excellent parts of my body, so preserve these with your greatest care. The more so, when you all have seen with your own eyes what a great calamity befell on you when these Vedas went away out of your hands, you should all worship and serve me, the controller of the space, always. There is no other thing higher than this, that I can advise you for your welfare. Read always these, my excellent glorious deeds. I will be pleased thereby, and will destroy all your bad calamities and misfortunes. My name is Durga, because I have killed this demon Durgama. So he who will take my name Durga and Satakshi, he will be able to unveil my Maya and walk freely. No use in telling more than this, that I tell you now. O Devas, the essence of all essences, both the Suras and the Asuras, would always serve me and me alone. Vyasa said, O king, thus giving pleasures to the Devas by these words, the Devi of the nature of existence, intelligence and bliss disappeared before them. O king, this grand mystery I have described to you in detail. But this is the source of good to all, so keep it secret with every care. The person that hears daily with great devotion this chapter gets all that he wants, and at last gets the worship in the Devi Loka. Here ends the 28th chapter on the 7th book on the glory of the Satakshi Devi in the Mahapuranam Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Ved Vyasa. Om Jenti Mangala Kali Patra Kali Kapali Durga Kshma Shpidati Swaswa. Om Tuya Mata Chapita Tuya Tuya